So standard 10, height and distance. In order to understand the problems related to the height and distance, the concept of trigonometry must be very strong. Concept in the sense the formulas of the trigonometry. Trigonometrical quantities we may say, right? Sin theta, cos theta, tan theta, and their formulas, that is in terms of the sides of right angle triangle. They should be very well known. I'll draw a right angle triangle, right? If this is the angle theta, right, then the opposite side we call it as perpendicular. The side which has theta and 90 degrees is called base, and then the third left side we call it as a hypotenuse. Depending upon theta it is decided. In case if the theta is over here, right, 90 degree, so opposite to theta we have perpendicular. Side which has 90 and theta, it is base, and the remaining side, the leftover side, it is hypotenuse. So trigonometrical quantities and their relation in terms of sides of triangle should be very well known in order to have a much better understanding of height and distance. Height and distance deals with not only the formula but a diagram, right, a pictorial representation or a sketched diagram, right. That is the one important part which holds the solution to the problem. If you go through the solution, for sure there must be a related diagram or situation associated. So that situation you need to learn how to draw, how to recreate it. So in this session we will see drawing the diagrams, right, how to draw the diagrams. Drawing diagram from the given data is a first challenge. So just to have a grip on drawing diagrams, I have designed this session. Height and distance, these 5 important characteristics you should be very clear with, right. To draw the diagram, these terminologies must be very clear to you, as these terminologies for sure you will find in the questions. So with the help of these terminologies, with the help of the understanding of these words, right, within the diagram where these points lie, they should be understood very clear. So I'll explain you this point and then we'll see the questions which will help us to more about these points. Identify the situation. Let's say if I say situation, I would give you a situation that from top of a tower, right. So you'll just draw a ground which is represented by this way. You'll draw a tower and this will be the point of observation. You can label it as O. So from top of a tower, situation is given, and as per the situation I have drawn a related diagram. Whatever diagram you draw, right, must be converted into a right angle triangle. So let's say if some point is given other side, if I extend a question from top of a tower, the angle of depression of well is 30 degree, right. So from the top of a tower, right, O, and you have a well over here, so let's label it W. So when you connect this point, for sure it will result into a right angle triangle. Point of observation must be identified from the question. Here from top of the tower, so I am somewhere above the tower here somewhere, and then doing my observation. Next we have angle of elevation, right. Let's say if I am on the top of the tower and here is my observation point, right, and I am required to see a aeroplane. Question says that person on the tower is observing a aeroplane. For sure aeroplane flies in the sky, so I will raise my head this way and my line of sight will be towards the aeroplane. So as soon as you raise your head and you plot line of sight, right, let's say here is the aeroplane. So this is the situation. So point of observation, right, from the point of observation you should identify the line of sight. This is along the line of sight. I have drawn a line because I am standing on the tower observing a aeroplane. I'll write the statement here. Next you have angle of elevation, angle of depression. So angle of elevation, right, this is the angle with horizontal and above, whereas depression is again it is the angle with horizontal as well below. Here also this word should be there, instead of and I should use as well. So both the things has to be there. So let's see. Now here I am standing on the tower and observing aeroplane. Where will be my angle of elevation? I have raised my head like this. So by what angle I have raised my head? That is the elevation. By what angle I have raised my head? That is the elevation. And by what angle I have lowered my head? So if you are seeing down, you have lowered your head. So that is depression, right? If you see above, if you need to observe above, you will get elevation. If you need to observe below, question will say that, see here, it is seeing downwards, right? Tower, he sees a well. So from this situation, you should get to know that person is observing something on the ground. So he will see downwards. So here in this case, right, again the angle with horizontal as well as below. So this below line, this angle we call it as angle of depression. And same way, if you are from the point of observation, once again draw a horizontal line compulsory. See, point of observation, horizontal line, point of observation, horizontal line. You should draw it. And then you are seeing above, right? So with horizontal as well as above. So this will be, let's say theta, we call it as angle of elevation. Once again, identify the situation from the question, draw such line diagrams. Right angle triangle will be there for sure. Here we can see a right angle triangle. Here also by some extension we can draw a right angle triangle. See, here we have a right angle triangle. Point of observation you should identify. See, from top of a tower, that means you are standing on a tower. Once again you are standing on a tower. Angle of elevation, angle of depression. If you are seeing upwards, that means angle of elevation would be given, right? It depends upon question. And if you are observing downwards, angle of depression will be given. Now how to deal with all these things? Some questions we'll see. So first question we have is, from aeroplane, depression of the tower on ground is 30 degree. So from aeroplane, step number 1 is to draw the ground, right? Aeroplane, let's say somewhere it is here, we'll label it as A. And depression of tower, so there should be a tower. I have drawn this tower. If you label it, it appears good. So from the aeroplane, depression of tower, I'll take the depression of the top. So this top, and since it is a depression, from the point of observation, aeroplane itself is our point of observation, horizontal line compulsory, and I had to see downwards. So depression is given, and this depression is given as 30 degree. So all those rules applicable here. I'll show them once again, compare and show them. right? So identify the situation. From the situation we have drawn the diagram, right angle triangle. So once the diagram is drawn, right, you can make up a right angle triangle this way. This can be a right angle triangle. This way also if you draw, this will be another right angle triangle. Depending upon the required data or given data, any of the triangle you may use. So these are just questions to understand the drawing of diagrams, not the full question, right? So they don't have full solution, just you will learn how to plot the situation, draw diagram and mark all such things. Then next, second one we have, from the top of a lighthouse, depression of the two boats. So once again we'll have ocean over here, right, and then near the ocean or maybe a lake there must be a lighthouse. So this is a lighthouse. If you label it, as I said, will appear good, right? So from top of the lighthouse, so observation point is here O. From the top of the lighthouse, depression means I am seeing downwards, horizontal line and downwards. So this is the depression. And depression of two boats. So let's say this is the boat number 1 and then we may have little far boat number 2. So let's say here is the boat number 2. So for boat number 2 also there will be a depression. So let's say this is the depression for the boat number 2. Diagrams are not required up to the mark. Up to the mark in the sense not to the scale. So such type of rough sketch, right, will help you to understand the question. Even your solution will look more prettier. So this is boat 1, boat 2, their depressions on the same side. So lighthouse is here, on the same side we have the boats is 30 degree and 45 degree, right? So here we'll have these two angles, 1 and 2. So tell me, what will be the angle of depression of the boat B1? We have given 30 and 45 degree. The boat which is close, you can see this angle is more. So this will be 45 degree and this angle is less, it will be 30 degree. So see here I have drawn the diagram. I have right angle triangle over here. See, this is one right angle triangle, then one with this orange part, this and this. You will have another right angle triangle this length. So identify the situation, right angle triangle, point of observation. Then we had been given depression. So depression means seeing downwards with the horizontal and downwards. So with the horizontal and downwards. Let's see the third question. You can momentarily stop the video, try this question, again get back to the solution, give it a try, and that will really help you to understand the topic much better. So third question we have is, from top of tower, angle of elevation of eagle is 30 degree. So let's go on to the tower, right, draw the ground, since tower is mostly on the ground. So here we have this tower, angle of elevation of eagle. So obviously eagle flies high in the sky, so I'm going to see upwards. So I'll see upwards and let's say somewhere here is the eagle and this is my point of observation O. So from top of the tower, angle of elevation of eagle and angle of elevation, since I am seeing upward, for sure angle of elevation, and that too horizontal line and upward, horizontal as well above. So horizontal as well above, this is the angle of elevation. You can use such short forms, right? It will give you a pictorial representation and hence help you to identify a right angle triangle. So from top of a tower, angle of elevation of the eagle is 30 degree, which changes to 60 degree in 15 seconds. So it was 30 degree over here. It was 30 degree over here and it got changed to 60 degree. So 60 degree, that means eagle has flown somewhere near to the tower. So that is why this angle has increased. If you see angle has been increased, that means the thing has come closer to you. If the angle is decreased, right, less than 30, so it has gone far to you. A logical understanding you should have. The one from this size also you can make up which angle must be greater, must be smaller, right? So don't get confused which one to mark as 30 and 60. So eagle was over here making 30 degree, and then the angle of elevation changed to 60 degree. That means eagle has come closer to us. Then only the angle made is bigger. So that thing you should conclude in 15 seconds. So this distance is traveled by eagle in 15 seconds. So this is the diagram. You can see the right angle triangles, right? If I extend over here, I'll have a one right angle triangle, and then if I do the extension from the first position, right, this will be another right angle triangle. So two right angle triangles I have to do the calculation, and apart from that, even closing this side or drawing this extension will also help you to calculate more data in case required. Let's see the next question.